790.
It's time to get educated, informed, and inspired. This is Saturday Morning Live on KGMI with your host, Chris Halterman.
Saturday Morning Live is sponsored by Asset Advisors, LLC, Accurate Lock and Security, and Valley Plumbing and Electric.
Well, welcome. Good morning, Whatcom County. Good morning, world. Good morning, Skagit County, San Juan County, and anybody out there listening today at Saturday Morning Live. And we have some great stuff today. It's going to be a two-part program. The first part of the program, I have in studio with me Lorraine Newman and Hugh Folk, and they will be talking about the Constitutional Knowledge Bowl. Joining them will be Shanna Leonhorst and Julia Vandriel to talk about the Constitutional Knowledge Bowl, and they're going to partake in a little bit of fun constitutional quiz with Hugh. Just for those of you who don't know much about it, the Constitutional Knowledge Bowl is hosted by the Whatcom County Citizens for Freedom. It's going to be held at the Rome Grange on February 27th from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. It is open to all junior high students. You can learn more about that in a minute. With that, I want to welcome Lorraine Newman and Hugh Folk. Good morning, Lorraine and Hugh.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, Lorraine, you were going to start out talking a little bit about the Constitutional Knowledge Bowl, what it is, how long it's been going. Just share with the listeners what about your knowledge about the Constitutional Knowledge Bowl, what you want them to know.
Well, I am so excited. This is our third Constitutional Knowledge Bowl, and we've got a program that really works now. We've kind of gotten the bugs out. We've added a new twist for those who have come and been in our audience before, so we're pretty excited about getting this going. The best thing... Well, I guess the first thing I need to tell everyone is that it is February 27th. The participants will arrive at the Rome Grange out on Bakerview Road.
Mount Baker Highway.
Oh, that's right, Mount Baker Highway. They will arrive there at 1 o'clock, and the program for the audience to watch will begin promptly at 2 o'clock.
Okay, so the timing is different then.
It's just a little bit different. The participants are arriving a little bit earlier, so we can start right at 2. So if you want to be in the audience, get there before 2 o'clock so you can get yourself a good seat and be prepared to be amazed and educated by the middle school students of Whatcom County.
Okay. Share a little bit about what students, they're kids, they're junior high age.
Middle school age here, because
mm-hmm.
we have middle school here. And they participate in teams, and they form the teams however they want to. They can form the teams in their schools. They can form their teams in their families. And then there are several parts to the competition. There's spontaneous essay writing. There's a rapid-fire round of questions. There's another section of questions that are what we call long answer collaborative questions, where they are given some time to interpret the Constitution. And then there is a speech portion of it. And this year we have a brand new round that the audience gets to participate in. So it's called the Audience Bonus Round. And while we are judging the main part, compiling the numbers from the main part of the competition, the audience gets to hear the teams compete on one last question, and they get to judge which person they choose to win the bonus round.
And there's gifts, cash prizes, and snacks. Is that correct?
Correct. There's a reception afterwards at which we give the awards, and there's coffee and drinks and cookies,
plaques.
Yes. And then the gifts are through the generosity of other people in our community. Individuals have contributed. We have businesses in the community that support the program. And so there are actually cash prizes for the top 4 teams. Mm-hmm. There is a wonderful plaque donated by Laser Point for the winners of the contest.
So each one of the participants
gets a beautiful plaque that was made for us by Laser Point. There's coupons from businesses around town. There's a beautiful poster of the Constitution that they received from us. So we try to really reward these young people for the effort that they put into studying the Constitution and really understanding it. It's more than just memorizing, being able to find where something is, but understanding why it was written the way it was written and what it protects for us today.
Well, and each one of these students, granted, it's wonderful to win all the prizes and the plaques and all of that kind of stuff, but this exercise is so valuable because it's a much more in-depth study and understanding, and so you have a better grasp of your Constitution and the rights that are given to you uniquely as an individual.
Yes, and they don't have to do this extracurricular studying on their own. We supply them with study materials and books to read and instruction. I know that Hugh spends a lot of time with them individually so that they are well prepared when they come to this contest.
Okay, well, Hugh, your turn there. Get that microphone over by you. And I want you to go ahead and pretty much, if there's anything you want to share with the listening audience, go ahead. Otherwise, let's introduce the young ladies here. And you've got a fun little quiz that you want to drill these guys through. And I think you even have some rewards for them for when they're done.
Indeed, I do. Good morning, girls. It was great to visit with you over the last several weeks. And now let's get into what this Constitution is all about. So we're going to begin with what I like to call the warm-up easy ones. So if you two are ready, tell the audience how many articles there are in the U.S. Constitution.
There are 7 articles in the U.S. Constitution.
And do you recall the subject matter of Article 1 of the Constitution?
The subject matter is legislation and lawmaking.
That's correct. And what body does that?
The Congress.
That's a very good answer. And what's the subject matter of Article 2?
Executive branch.
Okay, and who leads that branch?
The president leads this branch.
Good. And Article 3, what's the subject matter of that one?
The judicial branch.
And what leads that?
The Supreme Court.
Very good. And then moving right along, Article 4, what's the subject of that one?
The subject of Article 4 is state relations.
Those are relations among the states?
Yes.
And between the states and the federal government?
Yes.
Very good. And what's the subject matter of the What's the subject matter of Article 5?
Amendments.
All right, very good. Amendments all over the place or just amendments to the Constitution?
Just amendments to the Constitution.
Very good. You girls are doing very well. And what's the subject matter of Article 6?
Supremacy.
What do you mean by that?
This means that the federal government will have supremacy over the state government.
On a few subject matters. Yes, thank you. And finally, what's the subject matter of Article 7?
Ratification.
And it takes 2/3 to get an amendment to change the Constitution, but how many states have to approve an amendment to the Constitution?
3/4 of the state must approve it.
Very good. You guys are doing great. Overall, what's the subject of the first 10 amendments of the United States Constitution?
The rights for the people, reserved for the people.
Yes. And what's in that, do we have the so-called 5 freedoms?
Yes, we do.
And how about if you could tell us what those 5 freedoms are?
Freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, freedom to assemble, and freedom to petition the government for a redress of grievances.
Wow. And what do we call this batch of the first 10 amendments?
We call this the Bill of Rights.
Very good. And finally, overall, what does this Constitution system depend on for American satisfaction or American happiness?
The Americans must know and have knowledge, and then they must enforce this knowledge of the Constitution.
Very good. So those are warm-ups. Now we get to the meat of the matter.
And just in case anybody's wondering, since you can't see it, I am sitting here, and these young ladies do not have any written cues in front of them.
We do, but they do not. Okay, Hugh, are you have some more? Okay.
More
keep
questions.
On. All right, let's go.
Girls, what does the U.S. Constitution create?
The U.S. Constitution creates a federal government.
And what are the big things in the federal government that we pay attention to all the time?
The three branches of the government, which are legislative, executive, and judicial.
Very good. And now there's something else that's created by the Constitution. I'm sure you remember. It's the relationship between the federal government and the states.
Yeah, it means how they have to all play nice with each other inside the sandbox.
With a set of rules.
Yes.
What people created the Constitution?
Certain delegates who were chosen by the people of their states.
From each state?
Yes.
Very good. And who created the federal government? Or what created the federal government?
Delegates from each state as well.
Very good. And, of course, they created the Constitution, and the Constitution is the basic set of laws that govern us.
Yes.
Who ratifies amendments to the Constitution? Delegates from each state ratifies amendments to the Constitution. So who really has the power to change the federal government or the U.S. Constitution?
The people from the states.
So we're getting a lot of information from the states. Very good. So how is the president elected?
There is an electoral college, and there are a certain amount of electors from each state, and they elect the people, the president, depending on how their state people want them to vote.
That's exactly right. And how many elections are there? Do you recall?
Elections or electorates?
Well, electorates. There are 50 different, because there are 50 states, and there's an election in each state. And what determines the number of electors in a given state?
The population of the state.
Absolutely. All right, so it's fair all the way around. Girls, where does all the power come from to run the federal government?
It comes from the states.
Yes. And who created the federal government?
The states.
Right. Okay.
There's a theme here, isn't there?
Where do you find a list of the powers of the federal government?
In Article 1, Section 8 of the Constitution.
Can you tell me some of the powers that are in Article 1, Section 8?
Some of the powers are to coin money and to lay and collect taxes and to provide and maintain an army and to borrow and spend money.
Very good. And another big one, declare war. That's a power held by Congress. All right. Where are most of the laws that affect us in our daily lives written? Where are most of the laws that affect us written?
In the states.
Wow. We'll continue with the theme. What?
Well, I'm going to ask you to we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to finish the quiz and then just wrap up with a few thoughts. This is Saturday Morning Live. We've got Hugh Folk, Lorraine Newman in studio with them. Then we have a couple of young middle schoolers, Shanna Leonhorst and Julia Vandriel, and they are showing off their knowledge of the Constitution for the Constitutional Knowledge Bowl. Saturday Morning Live. We'll be right back.
Did you know that lubricating your locks helps prevent them from freezing? Cold weather causes car door, mailbox, and home locks to stick or freeze. Accurate Lock and Security offers everything you need to keep your locks in working condition year-round. Accurate Lock and Security. They're on Prospect Street across from the Watcom Museum and online at AccurateLock.net. Accurate Lock and Security, the professional security team, serving Watcom, Skagit, and Island counties with over 80 years and 4 generations.
Dewey Griffin Subaru is the only certified Subaru service and tire center in Whatcom County, and now they're faster than ever, offering express service open 6 days a week, including Saturdays. It's fast, convenient, and best of all, there's no appointment necessary. Stop by anytime for any lube, oil, and filter. While you wait, check out the dog park, and you'll see why Dewey Griffin Subaru is the most dog-friendly dealership in town. Dewey Griffin Subaru, community-minded and community-driven, 1800 Iowa Street, Bellingham, or online at DeweyGriffinSubaru.com.
Gun shows should be about guns. Big Top Promotions Gun Show at Ferndale Event Center is a gun show the way a gun show is meant to be. It's about guns. Thousands of guns, knives, and accessories. Modern guns, antique guns, military guns, collectible guns. All available to buy, sell, or trade. When you go to a gun show, you expect to see guns, and Big Top Promotions Gun Show will not disappoint. It's all happening at Ferndale Event Center, Saturday and Sunday, January 9th and 10th. Brought to you by Big Top Productions.
Your mornings are busy. That's why the KGMI Morning News is your perfect ticket to the world. While you rush to get ready, hear the latest local, state, and national news with Joe Tian. KGMI Dependable Weather with meteorologist Jeff Johnson. Sports with Mark Skolton. The latest money news and all the information you need for a great start to your day. The KGMI Morning News, 5 to 8 a.m. each weekday on KGMI News Talk 790 and KGMI.com. The opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily those of KGMI News Talk 790 or the Cascade Radio Group.
Welcome back. It's Saturday Morning Live. We're live. We're about liberty, and we are about the Constitution today. We've got in studios Lorraine Newman, Hugh Folk, and they are joined by Shanna Leonhorst, Julia Vandriel. We're talking about the Constitutional Knowledge Bowl. It is being sponsored by the Rome Grange and the Whatcom County Citizens for Freedom. It's going to be held on February 27th, 2016 from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. The event begins at 2 o'clock, but you can get there a little bit early. The kids all get there earlier because there's a part that has to be done prior to coming and convening within the main area of the Rome Grange there. So I'm going to let Hugh get back to it. He's given a little quiz to Shanna and Julia, and it's kind of a lot of fun. They're all based on things that these kids will be doing at the Constitutional Knowledge Bowl, and he's going to give some more information. If there's anyone interested, I don't know if the deadline's gone. It may or may not be. But, Hugh, you're taking over.
Chris,
Yes.
if you're listening to these questions and you know someone in middle school who you figure can compete here, you can contact Chris on her Saturday morning website, and she'll get the information to me, and I will get information back to you so that they can sign up. We will take applications this week.
Okay, so at the end, this coming week?
By the 15th, we need everyone in so they have time to study.
January 15th is the deadline. Chris at smllibertyroad.com. Chris at smllibertyroad.com. Go ahead, Q, you're on.
Okay, girls, I really have a tough question for you. What's the school that you attend?
Cornerstone Christian School.
Very good. You got that right. So, on with the questioning. What's the biggest task done throughout the United States, in the states, by the states?
Education.
Very good. And so what's the biggest job done for us by the federal government?
Armies and navies.
And for our protection. So what's the biggest job done for us by the states?
Education.
All right. What document separates state from federal responsibilities?
The Constitution.
And where are most of those powers listed in the Constitution?
Article 1, Section 8.
Wow, you're continuing to amaze us all. Very good. All right.
Okay, we're going to have to wrap it up. So you had a little prize for these young ladies? Sorry, I know this is cutting you off. We're getting to the bottom. We got a hard break here.
We do have a prize. We have the Video America for both of the participants.
Okay, congratulations, young ladies. And I'm very impressed with what you know. Anything you want to say to the listening audience? No? Okay, this is
How about come see us? We can help you become more educated.
Yes.